Hey, I'm Liz Wald, and it's Web3 Wednesday. This week I'm going to talk about Bitcoin Ordinals, something that's been popping up in the news lately. Bitcoin itself was created in late 2008 by a person or persons, no one really knows, called Satoshi Nakamoto, and started trading in early 2009. So Bitcoin itself, it's a virtual currency. It's decentralized. It's not managed by any bank or government or any other institution. It's on the blockchain, so it's immutable, and it's on the blockchain, so you can see every transaction that has happened, i.e. it's transparent. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. And this is one of the reasons people think Bitcoin has value, because it's a scarce asset. And 19 million of those Bitcoins have been minted so far today. It's the most traded and most valuable of all the digital currencies. Right now, it's at about 28,000 per Bitcoin. And it is comprised of 100 million satoshis per Bitcoin. So you can think of this as each dollar has 100 cents. Each Bitcoin has 100 million satoshis. And this is important for understanding ordinals, which we're going to get to in just a minute. Ethereum is another virtual currency, and it is the second most commonly traded and used of all of the digital currencies. It's at about 1,800 per ETH right now, but it has no cap on the supply. There are already 120 million in circulation, and there is no limit to how many can be created. So how does it get its value? Well, Ethereum has introduced something called smart contracts. Smart contracts are essentially a program that executes on an if-then statement. If this, then that. This has been really popular with NFTs. And I've talked a lot about how artists and musicians and others have released NFTs because when the NFT is originally sold, the artist gets the sale, but all subsequent sales can also generate commissions if it's written into the smart contracts. And a smart contract can also hold other information about what it is that makes up the NFT. What is the art or the music or the real estate or whatever it is. It essentially holds all the metadata or information relevant to that specific NFT. And the thing about most of this metadata is with the Ethereum blockchain, usually the metadata is stored off-chain, not on the blockchain itself. Since blockchain is immutable, that makes a big difference because I can go back as the original artist and change the metadata associated with that NFT. And where we've seen some of those changes is, for example, what commercial rights do I have to use this NFT and make money as the owner of the NFT? And when NFTs first came out, there was a lot of conversation about that and wasn't necessarily clear in the metadata. So people have gone in, added that to the metadata, made it more clear and the like. Now, Bitcoin itself doesn't use any smart contracts. It doesn't have any of those tools. It's simply a store of value, a virtual currency. But Bitcoin Ordinals, which came into being late last year and started trading here in 2023, allow for some new activity to happen on Bitcoin. So an ordinal is just a set of numbers that are in numeric order. And because each Bitcoin has 100 million satoshis associated with it, you can think of Bitcoin number one with the first satoshi, the second satoshi, the third, and so on up to 100 million. And it's all in an order in these AKA ordinal. And what it's allowing is for someone to take any kind of content and inscribe it onto these ordinals. So I can associate Bitcoin 1, ordinal 1 with a photo of a sunset, for example. Now, this has gone on, and the last few months, we've seen about 2 million items inscribed onto a Bitcoin Ordinals. The thing about this is it lives on the blockchain. So once it's on the ordinal, it can't be changed. It's there, and it's not anything. Nobody can go back in and make it again. So you've got 100 million times 21 million opportunities to do this. However, pretty much anyone can go on and do this on these websites like gamma.io. I can go in there and say, I want to inscribe this particular piece of art on that ordinal or on the next ordinal. And anyone can do it. I don't necessarily even have to prove I own that art. So I do think it's interesting that you can add these new dimensions to Bitcoin, and that maybe it will become more valuable over time because, hey, I want to buy these Bitcoins and I also want to own the ones that have these specific ordinals. However, anyone can put this stuff up here, so it's not clear that you actually own the right to anything that's on that ordinal. So a little bit of caveat emptor there, and this is very early days, so we're going to see things change. Now, today, Bitcoin has been up about 69% year to date, and Ethereum is up about 53% year to date. I'm not saying that Bitcoin ordinals are the reason for that delta, but it is something new that people are just starting to understand, and it is unique to Bitcoin, so it may in fact drive that value up as we're learning more about it. Okay, that's your quick take on Bitcoin ordinals, and we'll see you next week on Web3 Wednesday.